Welcome to the Elevate Media Podcast with your host, Chris Anderson. In this show, Chris and his guests will share their knowledge and experience on how to go from zero to successful entrepreneur. They have built their businesses from scratch and are now ready to give back to those who are just starting. Let's get ready to learn, grow, and elevate our businesses. And now, your host, Chris Anderson.
Welcome back to another recording of the Elevate Media Podcast. I am Chris Anderson, your host. Today, I want to talk to you about a really important part of your business as you're growing and scaling, and that is teamwork. Now, teamwork doesn't have to look the same depending on level and where you're at on your journey. Teamwork could be partners that you've created. It could be contract employees. It could be W-2 employees. It could be other people that you have connected with and that you both bring your strengths to the table to excel, to take that next step, to get to that next level. Whatever that is, teamwork makes the dream work. And so when we're setting out on our business goals, when you're trying to build your agency, when you're trying to build your coaching business, you have to do it with a team. Like an example, where we are right now, we just had a really big production, a handful of days, multiple cameras. We had 3 cameras, a slider. We had multiple lights. We had all this going on. We had multiple audio recording things happening in the same location for the same client. So to run all that on my own would have been very, very difficult. Probably wouldn't have got, most likely, definitely, let's be honest, definitely wouldn't have the same quality and the same end goal that we got if I was doing it by myself. But because we had multiple people on the team there working different parts of the process, running the cameras, running the scripts and production, running the audio, running the kind of quote green room, getting the people ready for camera, for video. And then, people just running and getting food or bringing back drinks or whatever it is. Like without all the whole team there running and picking each other up and supporting one another and doing their jobs the best they can. Without that, if it was just me, the result wouldn't have been as good. Now, it doesn't mean I couldn't have done it on my own, but little things probably would have missed out, or little things probably wouldn't have been done in the right way because there's just so many things going on. You forget, you miss things. It happened. We're human. But that's just a real life example that just recently I was thinking about. I was sitting there, I was looking at everybody working and doing their thing. And I was like, man, this is crazy. Like if I was the only one here, it's doable, but it's so nice to have a team. It's so nice to have individuals you can trust and who are amazing and who do great work and super blessed to be at this point, because obviously starting out, you might not be able to have that team. But you can be creative with it. You can connect with people and make it worth everyone's time to be a part of things. You can, do contractors in the moment. It doesn't have to be full employees. But that's just an example of how teamwork is so important, especially when there's multiple things moving or a lot going on. So that was just one example that I have had recently. When I was just starting out, having a couple of people in the same market as me, we would just brainstorm. We would get on calls, be like, hey, what's working? Is this working for you? Are you doing this? And then, them sharing what is working and, oh man, that's a great idea. Like, how can we support? And it was just a really cool collaboration. No one was getting paid anything. We were in the same market, but we were just helping each other, get to that next level. And now seeing them being successful and staying in touch is just a really cool thing. And looking back, when we started and how we all kind of supported one another was awesome. So, and at the beginning, it might not feel like you have the funds or the means to support a team, but you can still connect with others in your market. Brainstorm ideas, learn how to improve what you're doing based on what they're doing well. And then you can help support with what you're doing well as well. A lot of wells there. But even if you're starting out, you can still have a quote unquote team that you've built to help improve and grow your business. It just might not look like employees or contractors. It could just be, again, your network, those connections you've made. a lot of people that I connected with starting out in the same kind of industry as me really helped me learn and grow with Elevate. And so it's important to build that team, whatever that looks like. Your team could be technically fictional or not in person. It could be in that individual that you choose as your mentor, that you read their books, that you listen to their podcasts, that you watch their videos. They could be on your team. So you've got to get creative with it and just figure out who are assets, who can help you grow, who's going to move the needle forward, and then how can you benefit others and be on their teams. So teamwork truly does make the dream work, and we have to go out and we have to be intentional about creating that team. But you also have to be aware that you only have so much time and only have so much bandwidth to give energy wise to others. Something I learned early on, you can't say yes to everything and everyone. You can't help everyone because you don't have the time. You don't have the bandwidth. And if you do, you're going to get spread super thin. So being able to understand who you can really, truly serve the best, and in those others, direct them towards someone you've connected with or someone else, especially if it doesn't align with your customer persona or your ideal customer. If you're just doing it to bring in income and take on anyone and everyone, it's going to make things difficult. It's going to muddy the waters. It's going to just make things not grow as fast. So once you can really figure out who that team is, who you help, and continue to grow, that's going to be a huge step going forward. And don't come at it with a negative mindset of, oh, they're going to steal my ideas. They're going to try to take whatever. Yes, there's an aspect that you don't share everything with everyone. It's true. But as you're building these relationships to support and to help one another, they're not used and they're not going to be able to approach whatever that idea or that thing is in the same way. So they're not going to be able to do it just like you. They could take parts of it and implement it to their structure and their strategy, but it's going to be theirs. And same when you see something that they're doing well, you can implement something like it, but it's going to have your own flavor on it. It's going to have your own spin on it, and it's not going to look exactly like them because you don't know every single detail and you're not them. You know, their mannerisms, their abilities, their certain ways of doing things. So it's going to look a little bit different still. So don't come at building a team with a closed off mindset, because it'll just hinder your growth and your ability to help others. And then remember, as you're growing, to try to give back the best you can to those who are coming up. Be that kind of that leader, that mentor to others the best you can, like those who were leading and mentoring you when you were starting out. So you're now going to be part of someone else's team in a different capacity. They're going to look to you for, hey, how'd you do that? How'd you overcome this? They're going to be watching your stuff. They're going to be listening to your podcast. When you're creating that content, think of them. Think of the one that you're helping. Even if you might not have direct contact with, think of those people that have added you to their team so they can grow and learn from you to do what you've done. And that'll help you come to your content with more energy, with more passion, with more vigor to do the very best and talk about things that hopefully will help those that are a couple steps behind. And it'll change your kind of perspective on things. Instead of just, I got to put on another piece of content or I got to make another video, you'll be able to be like, hey, this topic I truly think can help someone who is where I was at a year ago. And then you'll have that energy, you'll have that passion to be able to do it. I know I went through spurts, like there's ruts where you get in as you're building a business, as you're building an agency, and it's, oh, okay, doing this again. But you've got to recorrect the ship. You've got to recenter your mindset of, this isn't for me. This is for that team out there that I'm helping, the team that I'm a part of. And that can really change our perspective and our mindset on it. So remember that. So if you're starting out, find a team, build a team. Maybe it's just the same people in your market that you're working together, because all tides rise all boats. So if we can work together to build, fantastic. And then as you're bringing on your contractors, your part-time employees, your full-time employees, that team, you're going to lead a little bit differently. You're going to look at it a little bit differently. And then as you're growing, thinking back to those who have added you to their team through your content, who you are a pivotal part of the team to, so you can make content, so you can connect with them in that way and help bring them up to that next level as well. So just a quick episode. I wanted to talk about teamwork and how that looks different along our journeys. and how we can implement that going forward. So wherever you're at on your journey, take time to think about your team, think about who's on your team, whose team you're on, and go out there and make a difference.
Thank you for listening to the Elevate Media Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. See you in the next episode.